the previous session, I told that seller is at one end and the buyers are at the other end, and the connecting interface in between these two parties are the portals, or you can say e-marketplaces, which connect between the buyers and the seller. Basically, e-marketplace, it connects the sellers and the buyers. The sellers are looking out for customers or buyers, and the buyers are looking out for sellers. So both of them, they have their own mutual interests here. Now, the major B2C mechanisms are the web stores, that is the storefronts, and the internet malls. Now, usually in the traditional mode of shopping, we physically visit the stores, the retail outlets, and then we try to find out what we need. Here, in this case, a customer thinks of visiting the web portal or the web store or the electronic mall, whatever it is. Here, there are options, different options available for the customers through the e-commerce mode of shopping. Now, whenever you want to purchase something, you might have experienced that whenever you enter any of the web stores or malls, what is the thing which you feel is attractive for you or catchy from the customer point of view? Here, maybe when you search for the website, you enter a particular website, you expect that there should be an attractive alignment. See, whenever we are searching something on e-commerce portal, or maybe you can say web stores, it is expected that whenever we enter it, we should find some information on the main page, the main web page. It may be a small poster, a picture, an image, or just a list of tabs with reference to that offerings or products or services which are laid out on the website. So here, the first and foremost thing is that when we enter a website, it should be very attractive or catchy. Second thing is they should be able to engage the customers. That is, here the customers, whenever they think of entering a particular tab, okay, they have certain intentions. So maybe there may be a drop-down box or the options wherein the customer can enter through that option available. But when they enter, they should get whatever is expected or desired there. Now, if we take the means for the customer shopping mechanisms, the web stores are there. Now, web stores are the storefront, refers to a individual company, a single organization website where various products and services are sold to the customers. Now, web stores may target an industry, maybe with reference to location, or it may be a niche market. Okay, where niche market means where actually the players are very less. The offering may be specialized one, which the other competitor may not offer, or the company itself is known to produce and offer those type of products or services which wherein they don't have much of the competition in that sector. Now here the web store may be designed by the manufacturer, that is, they may belong to the company, the manufacturer, or it may be belong to intermediary. Like we have Amazon, which is an interface between both the sellers and the buyers, to individuals selling from home or other types of businesses. Now, some of the companies refer to their web stores as web portals also. So here, if you take an example of a Dell, okay, Dell has its own website. So like that, if one thinks of directly, almost if you see today, all of the companies, they have their own websites. So the customer can directly enter the web store and look out for the different portfolio of offerings on the company websites itself. They include the tools such as merchant software, which are necessary for conducting the online sales. Now, the very important tool is electronic catalog. Electronic catalog. So here through the e-commerce mode, when the list or display of items is shown on the web page, we say it is the electronic catalog. Many a times the companies think of designing attractive catalogs. Maybe they can think of having a poster, a frame, a video. Here the customer should be able to gain the attention of that particular offering. That is what is the objective. Now, a search engine helps the consumer to find the products in the catalog. Now, this is the common feature, that is the electronic catalog. Now, with the help of search engine, the customer thinks of typing certain keywords which he or she is looking for, which is able to find in this e-catalog. So it helps the customers to very easily get access to the products. Now, these web stores, they have the electronic cards. Electronic shopping cards, like you can compare it with the traditional way. As we enter a mall or something, we just have to drag the trolley or maybe pull on the basket, where you just enter the shopping mall and try to put the things into that. Similarly here in the electronic catalog, when a person thinks of buying an item, he will just click on it and make an entry into the electronic cart. So these products are ultimately entering your basket. The customer is going to purchase the basket and whatever the items are in this cart. There are e-auction facilities also. There is a payment gateway where the payment arrangements are to be made. Similarly, there is a shipment code where the shipping arrangements are made. There is also the customer services where the product information or maybe any other sort of information can be sought. These all are the things which are into this web stores. Now, if you consider the microsites, okay, a microsite is a web page that act as a supplement to the primary website, but it is external to it. It expands on the content by adding editorial or commercial video or educational and training material. Now, another is the electronic malls. Now, in support or in addition to the electronic web stores, okay, consumers can also shop on the electronic malls, or we say e-malls, like we have in the physical setup, the shopping malls. Here also we have the e-mall or the online mall. It is a location where many stores present their catalog. Now here the mall charges commissions from the seller based on their sales volume. When consumer indicates the category where the customer is interested in, the consumer is transferred to the appropriate independent web store. So we can imagine that we may have more web stores on a single electronic mall. Okay. So directly when the customer looks out for a particular offering, they are directed to those individual independent web stores. Now this kind of mall does not provide any shared services. It is merely a directory. Other malls, they do provide some shared services also. Now, if we consider the type of stores here, now these are actually the large market spaces that sells all types of category of offerings or products. All major department and discount store fall into this category. There are also specialized stores or specialized malls. They are, constrained or restricted to only those items, specialized products, we can say. For example, you can have only bookstores, you can have only florists, you can have only toys, or you can have pet toys. So any specialized product, they can have their offerings here at these specialized malls. There one can also segregate on the basis of regional, national versus the global stores. Like you may have a nearby grocery shop, even they may have their e-website, or against this you can think of having a company which is operating on the global scenario, global marketing, which caters to the needs of the customers throughout the globe. Here again, if the company is specialized, it has certain specialized offerings. Now, pure online organizations versus the click and mortar stores. Now, stores can be online stores, that is the virtual organizations, like we have the Amazon.com, where they do not have their physical stores as such. Or one can have brick and mortar stores like First Cry, where you have the retail outlet also, at the same time you have the online also. So both of the stores operate here. The web portals or the information portals are there. Now a portal is an information gateway that is used in e-marketplaces, web stores, and other type of electronic commerce. For example, in e-collaboration or intra-business or e-learning. Okay, a web portal is a single point of access through a web browser to critical business information located inside and outside the organization. Now, this information is aggregated and is accessed and presented in a very formal way, or we can say a consistent way. The wireless devices are becoming portals for both enterprises as well as the internet access also. With the growing use of intranets and internet, many organizations, they provide the information at various levels. One can have the numerous documents, email messages, databases at different locations and systems. Now, when we think of having the type of portals, the major type of portals are like commercial portals or public portals. These are popular portals which offer the content for the masses. Although they are customized by the user, they still have the intention to cater to the masses. That means they have a broad audience and offer fairly routine content. Now we have an example of yahoo.com or google.com, msn.com, where we get the lot of content is shared through these portals. The next is the corporate or private portals. Now corporate portals provide organized access to internal corporate information. These are also known as enterprise portals or enterprise information portals. They appear in the different form as compared to the typical web stores or in case of business to consumers portals type, as the requirements of the customers are different for these portals. Now they offer usually the content which is related to that customers, or maybe with reference to those users, those who visit. The next is the patient portals. Now several companies, they offer the patient portals. The patients have access to their personal information. Now this allows the communication between the patients and their caregivers, those who are responsible to take care. Next is the publishing portals. These portals are intended for communities with mutual interest groups, or they involve a little customization of content. However, they provide extensive online search features, and some of them they have the interactive capabilities also. Now, there are also mobile portals. Now, today with the increase in the penetration of mobiles, mobile portables are accessible from mobile devices. An increasing number of portables are accessible through these mobile devices, and today because of the smartphones, they are becoming much more popular. When we take into consideration the voice portals, okay, they are the websites, usually portals with audio interface, where the audio devices are recognized. They can be accessed by standard telephone or the cell phone also. Now, products by companies such as Microsoft's Tell Me offer access to internet from telephones, as well as tools to build voice portals. Now, knowledge portals enable the access to knowledge by company employees and facilitate the collaboration in between them. Similarly, we do have the board portals. Now, board portals are helped in decision making. They help save the time, they improve the efficiencies, and hence enhance the effectiveness of meeting. Similarly, for collaboration and decision making for boards, committees, and executive leadership teams, Now, board portal softwares transform the workflows by digitization. Previously, we used to have the paper-based uh, in terms of corporate governance processes, but today it has been replaced by these board portals. As far as community portals are considered, these are usually parts of online communities. Now, they may have, these portals may have some themes in common and may have a sponsored vendor also many a times. So here the people with the mutual interest or common interest, they come together. Now, the roles, now the roles and value of intermediaries in marketplaces. Here, basically, we have two major types in this. There are the brokers as well as there are the intermediaries. Now, whether it is online or offline, the consumer cannot find a place where he or she can complete the transaction. Channel management is one of the very important part. So here, in case of online transactions, also there are the intermediaries. Now, when we think of brokers, a broker in electronic commerce is a person or a company which facilitates the transaction between the buyer and the sellers. Now, let's see the types of these brokers. Like we can have the trading. Like there are the company that aids online trading, like we have the eBay or E-Trade. Organization of online malls, like we have Yahoo Shopping or Rediff Shopping, Alibaba.com, a company that organizes many online stores in one place. There are also comparison agents, a company that helps consumers to compare the prices, to encourage the users' comments and provide customer services at different stores. Now here, if we see Policy Bazaar, where we have the insurance or companies where the many comparisons could be done as far as the insurance services is considered. Shopping aids providers are there. The company that helps online shopping by providing payments, shipping, security for global shoppers. Matching services includes the entities such as job to applicants or buyers to sellers. Now here we can take an example of Naukri.com, which maps both the parties, the employer and the uh, prospective candidate. Or a website like we have the Shadi.com, where we have the mapping of the services or matching of the services take place. Now, basically, the basic functions performed by an intermediary in the distribution channel consist of a transactional function, which involves adding value to the distribution channel by bringing the intermediary resources to establish market linkages and customer contacts. Second thing is the logistical part, which involves the physical distribution of goods. So on the when the customer visits the websites or the web portal, he places the order, he pays the bills, but the backend process then starts where the logistical functions comes in the forefront. It involves the assortment of goods, the storing, the tracking of customers and shipments. The next function is the facilitator. Now, the facilitating functions of intermediaries supplement the entire marketing flow of the product, and they are separate from the logistics. Now, altogether, when these functions are performed by the intermediary, they ensure the market coverage, reduce the cost of market coverage, increase the availability of cash flow in distribution channel by making the end user comfortable and making their shopping experience more convenient. Here. Now, there are also distributors when we consider the business to business markets. A special type of intermediary in e-commerce is B2B, or we can say through e-distribution. These intermediaries connect manufacturers with business buyers who are the customers. Now here B2C and B2B, both the business models, the requirements are much different for both of them. Now, e-distributors aggregate product information from many manufacturers in the e-distributor's catalog. The distributor buys the products and then sells them as supermarkets do. Now, the channel intermediaries, they also include the wholesalers who buy the product from the manufacturer and resell it to the retailers. So here we say that there are distributors. Now coming to the next part is merchant solutions, that is electronic catalog, search engines, and shopping carts. So we move ahead with the same concept of consumer shopping ahead. Now, to make it possible to sell the goods online, the website needs the electronic commerce merchant server software. It includes several tools and platforms. It includes the electronic catalogs, the search engine, and shopping carts. All are intended to facilitate the electronic trading process. Now, when we take electronic catalogs into consideration, this electronic catalogs consist of product database, the directory, and a presentation function, that is formally you can say in terms of a list or a drop down box, or maybe through videos, or having images. Okay, they are put on the websites through the e-catalogs. They are the backbone of most e-commerce sales sites. Mostly the customers' sales take place when they have a glance through these electronic catalogs. The purpose of such catalogs is to locate information on products and services, which is quickly done, or easily it could be accomplished by moving on with the help of search engines. Now, previously, the online catalogs were just static presentation of, maybe there was only display of text or messages from the paper catalog. However, today we have more dynamic and customizable integrated buying and selling procedure here. Shopping carts, order taking, payments, e-catalogs may they also include the video clips now. One may have the demo also, that how to use the offering or the product, or many of them they share the experience. If the customers are satisfied, maybe they may have the e-catalog may have the display of video of the satisfied customer who is praising the service provider. Now, in B2C commerce, customized catalogs are used frequently, while in case of B2B, they are more standardized approach, as it's the business requirement. There are many tools for conducting searches which are available. Now, research has concluded that many of the shoppers, they think of conducting the research before reaching the decision making phase. They enter the company catalog, they try to compare various products with reference to quality, with reference to shipment, with reference to pricing, and then think of purchasing the product. There are three major types of electronic commerce searches. They're the internet or web search, the enterprise search, and the desktop search also. Now, customers look for a lot of information. They request for product information or pricing. This type of request is repetitive, and frequently answering these questions becomes very difficult, or manually it is very costly. Hence, the role of search engine. The search engines deliver answers economically and efficiently by matching the questions with the frequently asked question templates. A search engine is a computer program that can access database of internet or intranet resources, search for that particular keyword or particular information, and report the results. Google and Bing are the most popular search engines. Now, special search engines recognized to answer certain questions or search in specified areas. They include like ask.com or looksmart.com. Many companies have their own enterprise search engines also. Today we have even the voice powered search. When using a smartphone, Google introduced a voice powered tool, that is Google Voice Search, that allows you to skip the keyboard altogether. The first product was included as a part of iPhone's mobile search application. It allows you to talk on your phone and ask any question, and results of the query are provided on the iPhone. This is one of the important features of this. There are many dedicated search tools and sites that search for videos and other images, such as Bing will search across multiple sites. YouTube will search for its own content which has been asked for. Now, search engine like Bing has a feature that allows you to listen more than 5 million full-length songs. Now, mobile searches are also very much popular today. When one thinks of having this visual shopping, visual means we look for the information that is presented visually, like images or photos. The technology can be used to support e-commerce. Now, visual search is more popular when conducted on mobile devices. Social network search engines. Social network search is also known as the social search. It is a class of online search engine that helps people find material with reference to social networking activities like user generated content, like discussion group or recommendations. Like all search engines, these organize, prioritize, and filter the search results. Now, when we take into consideration the shopping carts, an electronic shopping cart, also known as a shipping bag or the shopping basket, it is also a software which allows the customer to collect the items or the goods which they wish to purchase before they move ahead with the payment options, like just like we do in the physical form where we collect everything in the basket and we go and stand near the in the queue in the supermarket for the billing section. Similarly here also one can think of having just the goods put up into this shopping cart. The electronic shopping cart software program, it automatically calculates the total cost and adds the tax and the shipping charges together when the customer is done with the purchasing part. Now here, the customer is also given a choice to view the shopping carts. What all are the goods which are being placed in the shopping carts? Once the customer has a glance and he or she feels that maybe there are some unnecessary items which were collected and put into the basket. So here, given there is an option to edit or delete the item from this shopping cart, and ultimately the amount also gets deducted at the same time. So here the customer has that leverage. Now in product configuration, a key characteristic of e-commerce is the ability to self customize products and services. Like we have the Dell.com or Nike.com, where manufacturers like to produce customized products in economical and rapid ways so that the price of their products will be competitive. So many of the companies have this self customization. So in this case, they can go for giving the invitation to the special set of customers that is purchased by inviting to these customers. Also, intelligent search engines can answer users' questions. A leading engine is ask.com. The question and answer service matches answers from the database to the question asked by the users. Now, moving ahead with auctions, bartering, and negotiating online. This is one of the most interesting market mechanisms in e-commerce, that is auction. Auctions are used in business to consumer model or business to business model, consumer to consumer model, government to business model, and government to consumer model also. An online auction is a electronic space where both the parties sellers and buyers, they meet and they transact among themselves through the electronic mode. This mechanism uses a competitive process where the sellers solicits the bids from the buyers, or a buyer solicits bid from sellers, that is the reverse e-auctions. Auctions as established method of commerce deals with products and services when conventional marketing channels, they are ineffective basically. If we see in majority of the government sectors, they call for the bids. Okay. And now since government, in the government part, there is e-governance is also been uh, included. So several type of auctions or the bids are called upon through the e-commerce mode. Now there are several types of auctions, each with its own specialties, and they have their own defined processes. Auctions can be conducted online, public auction sites, like we have the eBay, or private auction sites also, which may be by invitation only. When we consider the dynamic pricing, one major feature of these auctions is that they are based upon dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing means that the prices are not fixed, but they are allowed to fluctuate, and it depends upon the role of the supply and demand with reference to that offering. Here, if we see the catalog prices, they are mostly fixed by the departmental stores or supermarkets or the websites wherein we are entering into. While dynamic pricing appears in various forms, like oldest form is the negotiation or the bargaining part. Most popular today are the online auctions. Now, if we see the traditional auctions versus the e-auctions, physical auctions are still very much popular. Now, traditional offline auctions, they have several limitations, like they last for very few minutes or maybe for a few seconds. Within this small time frame, the buyer has to make up their mind. They have to take a decision whether to go for the bid or not. The sellers may not get here the highest possible price. The bidders may not get what really they want, or they may pay too much for a particular item. And the bidders, they do not have time to examine the goods before placing a bid. So bidders must usually be physically present at auctions, while that's why here many bidders are excluded, but that may not be the case in terms of e-commerce here, because they offer an online option is available here. Individual consumers and organizations both can participate in this convenient form of e-commerce transactions. Now, major online auction websites are like eBay. Another type of B2B online auction is to trade special type of commodities such as the electricity transmission capacities and gas and energy options. Now, if we consider the type of auctions, like we can have one buyer and one seller, or we may have the one seller and many potential buyers. The seller uses a forward auction, where the seller entertains bids from many of the buyers, and looking at the options available, he moves ahead. Similarly, the option is like one buyer and many potential sellers also. There are also reverse auctions. When there is one buyer and many potential sellers, a reverse auction or bidding or tendering system is in place. Here, the buyer places an item which he or she wants to buy for a tender or a bid on a request for quote system. The potential suppliers, they bid on the item, reducing the price. The winning supplier is the one with lowest bid. So this is about the electronic auctions part. Now coming to the benefits here, e-auctions are more important for both of them, as they enable the buyers to access goods or services anywhere where the auctions are conducted. The market information about the prices, products, the demand and supply, the characteristics is all easily available because of the e-commerce mode. Now here, the security, the fraud, and limited participation are the three limitations of the e-auctions part or the electronic auctions part. Some of the auctions conducted on the internet, they might not be secure. People may have certain doubts as far as the security part is understood. Similarly, when the auction items are unique, used, or antique, because the buyer cannot see or touch the offerings, the items, the buyer may receive something different. Okay, in hand when the person gets, it may be some which is something different than what is portrayed on the website. So thus fraud rate in e-auctions is relatively high. Some auctions are by invitation only. Others are open only to dealers. So here this is one of the disadvantages, that there is limited participation here. One can have even the exchange of goods, that is the online bartering is conducted through the online mode or e-commerce mode. Where the intermediaries, they arranges transactions, these exchanges can be effective through the online negotiations. Now dynamic prices here are also determined by negotiation, which is very commonly used for expensive or specialized category of products. Now this is about the electronic auctions part. Now any doubts here? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will stop here then.